Good evening, it's 8 o'clock. The top headlines tonight. Wholesale price inflation is at a record high, but as inflation is at a record high, the rupee is at a record low. Is India heading towards stagflation? Meanwhile, LIC lists today with shares at over 7% discount.
4, 3, 2, 1.
The Supreme Court orders secure the site where a Shivling is said to have been found, but let Muslims offer Namaz with no restrictions. The Supreme Court says the next day of hearing is Thursday, but doesn't stop the Gyanvapi survey as the petitioner had asked. Meanwhile, a Varanasi court where the survey report will be given sacks a commissioner over media leaks. The survey report will now be given in 2 days. The CBI raids Chidambaram's homes over an alleged bribe for visa charges, as they say. Both the father, Mr. P. Chidambaram, and son and MP Karti Chidambaram say that the CBI found nothing and the timing is suspect. The CBI claims that bribes were paid for Chinese worker visas to Karti Chidambaram. The Congress says it's untrue. The ex-finance minister is a nationalist and a patriot. Extreme rainfall now being reported in much of Assam, with heavy rainfall warnings in South and East India. Currently, lakhs are homeless in Assam. Meanwhile, there's a heat wave warning from the 19th of May in North India. India's COVID cases dropped dramatically. Weekly cases have now fallen by over 22%. A surgery to reduce fat goes wrong. A 21-year-old, just 21, a Karnataka actress dies after this weight loss surgery. The clinic is closed after fatal surgery. Doctors are missing. Parents say they had no idea their daughter was having this operation. Body shamed and bullied. A class 12 boy kills his classmate in Tamil Nadu. The boy says he was harassed mercilessly, complained to the school, but no action was taken. Why a divorced Johnny Depp? Amber Heard resumes her testimony. She says how she used makeup to cover the different colors of her bruises from Johnny Depp. And Indian actress Deepika at Cannes. She's on the gram choosing Sabyasachi for her Cannes look. Our big story tonight is, of course, the 4 big economic headlines. The rupee weakened once again today to a record low, with the RBI stepping in to limit losses as well. This as data came out showing wholesale inflation at a double-digit high for the 13th straight month. India's biggest IPO, LIC, listed today, but shares tanked over 8%. The one bit of good news is that stock markets were up today. But the big worry, and this, of course, for India, is the inflation. April's wholesale inflation is now above 15%. That's a double-digit WPI for 13 months straight. Wholesale inflation has soared to 15.1% versus 14.5% in March, so continuing that upward trajectory. Fuel and power prices inflation is leading the surge at 39%. So further pressure on retail prices as well. Priyanshi breaks down the top business headlines of today. Priyanshi, it's over to you.
Well, Sonia, rupee has hit a record low again, and this time at 77.56 rupees per dollar. The rupee has touched its third record low in just the last 8 days, with the rate today being the lowest ever. In fact, with this, rupee has lost over 4% of its value since January, as it stood around 74 rupees per dollar in the month of January. Now, why is this happening now? One of the primary reasons is continuous foreign fund pullout from the Indian markets. A total of $20 billion foreign funds have been pulled out by foreign investors this year. This is happening as investors turn to safer investment destinations like the US, and they pull out funds from emerging markets such as India amid global uncertainty. Now, what's the impact? All imports get even more expensive as we now have to pay more in rupee terms. Your foreign travel and education gets expensive too. But the upside is that Indian exports get more competitive globally as foreigners now have to pay less in terms of their currency.
3, 2, 1.
And moving on, India's largest IPO, LIC, tanked on its debut. LIC shares listed down over 8% and settled 7.8% lower. LIC shares ended day one at 875 rupees per share, which is lower than the 949 rupee issue price. LIC shares listed at 867 against 949 rupees issue size. With this, LIC's market valuation has fallen by 42,500 on debut. Experts say IPO timing is a concern as it comes amid global market uncertainty, and the valuation is also a concern, with some saying it is overvalued and hence dropping now to its real valuation. Some in fact even say that certain companies are buying the share to show a recovery in sort of a sponsored buying exercise. India's largest IPO, LIC, in fact lost even when the markets at large gained. So this is raising concerns on LIC's fundamentals.
It indicates, and that's why I in my tweet said, possibly somebody is buying. 950 rupees or 949 cannot really be a right kind of valuation. LIC debuts at a price lower than its issue price and just doesn't budge up.
Well, overall, the markets gained for the second straight session. Markets gained over 2.5% following Asian peers. Sensex gained 1,344 points to end at 54,318, while Nifty gained 417 points to settle at 16,259 points. Now, why the gain? It is after there are hopes of a demand revival after China moves to ease lockdowns in Shanghai. And with this, all sectors in the Indian markets ended in the green. Those are all the headlines for the markets and LIC. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Priyanshi. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister also spoke today on 5G and said that by the end of the year, 5G will be a reality in India.
2G का काल यानी निराशा, हताशा, करप्शन, पॉलिसी पैरालिसिस, और आज उस कालखंड से बाहर निकलकर देश ने 3G से 4G और 5G और 6G तक की तरफ तेजी से कदम बढ़ाए हैं.
Well, the other big headline tonight was a plea in the Supreme Court by the Muslim side to stop the ongoing survey, which just ended, of the Gyanvapi Mosque. The Supreme Court today didn't stay the survey process and in fact said a site where the Hindu side claims a Shivling has been found should be given full security. However, the Supreme Court also added that Muslims should not be stopped from offering prayer here. Meanwhile, the Varanasi court today sacked the Chief Commissioner over media leaks and has now given time of 2 more days for the final report.
An intense legal battle over Varanasi's famous Gyanvapi Mosque played out in 2 courts today. The Varanasi court that ordered the filming of the mosque and the Supreme Court that heard a challenge to the filming but refused to stay it for now. A bench headed by Justice Chandrachud ordered that the area where the purported Shivling was found should be protected by local authorities, but that Muslims should not be restricted in any way from performing their prayers. The top court was hearing a plea by the mosque committee, which said that any filming alters the character of the place of worship and violates a 1991 law that prohibits this.
The masjid side argued that the trial court entertaining the suit goes against the 1991 Act and also against the Supreme Court judgment in Ayodhya case and sought a stay on the trial court proceedings, which the apex court did not entertain at this stage.
The next hearing in the Supreme Court is on Thursday. India's Solicitor General representing Uttar Pradesh argued that if a Shivling had been found, then the Muslim prayer ritual of cleansing at the pond should not be allowed, as feet would be pointed towards it, which would cause a law and order problem. Meanwhile, the Varanasi court sacked the top official in charge of filming the mosque. Court Commissioner Ajay Mishra was ticked off after the report was leaked to the media even before it was submitted to the court. The court gave 2 other commissioners a 2-day extension to submit the survey report. On Monday, the Hindu petitioners claimed a Shivling was found near the pond used for wuzu inside the mosque complex during the court-mandated videography survey. The court had ordered the pond to be sealed.
न्यायालय ने भाई जो उचित समझा किया मैं इसलिए मैंने कहा ना कि मैंने न्यायालय का आदेश नहीं देखा सर्वे से हम संतुष्ट हैं सर्वे में कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
Speaking to NDTV, the new survey in charge promised he will be fair and honor the Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb or the syncretic culture of Varanasi.
बाइट दे रहा था और अफवाह फैला रहा था, गलत बातें कह रहा था जो कि सच्चाई से परे थी।
The Varanasi court may hear two fresh petitions on Wednesday, one by the women petitioners who want more filming inside the mosque and the other by the local administration that says the sealing of the pond inside the mosque is inconveniencing worshippers. With Saurabh, Ajay, Aravind and camera person Rajesh Gupta, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
The other breaking news story tonight, CBI raids again on the ex-finance minister's house. This apparently over a scam the CBI claims his son is involved in. The MP Karti Chidambaram, both father and son have said that the CBI's again search has become routine now and the timing is suspect. Let's go across to Arvind for more. Arvind, why would the CBI carry out these raids now at this time for something they claim happened during the finance minister's tenure when Mr. Chidambaram was finance minister? What is this bribe for visas they're claiming?
Yeah, Sonia, the Central Bureau of Investigation, during its investigation in the INX Media Gate, got some evidence which showed that there was some kind of an corruption allegation in a different case altogether, and that's why the agency had initiated a preliminary inquiry which has now culminated into a fresh FIR. So this particular fresh FIR, which is the third case against Karti Chidambaram by the Central Bureau of Investigation, is prima facie on the allegation that Karti Chidambaram actually facilitated the issuance or reissuance of work visas for Chinese employees in connection with the power project in Punjab. So what our sources in the Central Bureau of Investigation are saying is that Karti Chidambaram allegedly received somewhere around 50 lakh rupees from an Indian company in order to facilitate reissuing of 263 work visas for Chinese nationals in connection with the power project in Punjab in 2010 and 2011. And that's why the agency now registered a fresh case against Karti Chidambaram and today conducted searches at his premises and also at P. Chidambaram, the then Union Home Minister's premises, along with 8 other premises across the country. And what we are being told is that very soon the agency will be summoning Karti Chidambaram for further questioning in this particular matter.
No, this of course is the Congress is backing Mr. Chidambaram strongly and saying that he's a nationalist and patriot and wouldn't give extra visas to Chinese workers. Why are they saying the timing is suspect?
The Congress is saying that though this particular entry allegation that the Central Bureau of Investigation got this evidence way back in 2018 during the INX Media case, this has been registered only now, only after the Chintan Shivur, where the Congress party did decided to make a lot of reforms or revamp of the organization, and also P. Chidambaram, who has been very critical of the country's economic situation. That's why the party alleges that the central agencies are being misused against a former Union Finance Minister.
Right. Thanks so much, Arvind, for joining me with those details. And let's go across now to some good news on COVID. After a slow but steady rise for a month, COVID cases are now falling. In the last 24 hours, there have been 1,569 new cases. This is the lowest number of daily cases in a month. Also, weekly COVID cases have fallen by over 22%, and the positivity rate is also down to 0.59%. That's well below 1% for the past week. Moving to a shocking story from Karnataka, a 21-year-old actress, just 21, went in for a surgery to lose weight. Even though she was a very popular actress, there didn't seem to be any problem with her weight. She, along with her friends, went along to this hospital. In fact, it's not even a hospital, it seems to be just a clinic, and had a surgery to lose weight and died. After that, she suffered a cardiac arrest. Her grieving parents say they weren't even told that she wanted to go in for the surgery.
21-year-old actress Chetana Raj opted for plastic surgery to remove body fat but did not survive the procedure. Dr. Shetty's cosmetic centre in Bengaluru's Rajaji Nagar has since been shut. The Kannada film and TV actress reportedly went to the hospital for the cosmetic surgery with her friends without informing her parents. It was a friend who had signed the consent form for the surgery.
ಯಾರೋ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ದಪ್ಪ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಹಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಹಂಗೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ತೆಗ್ಸೋಣ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಂತ.
Soon after the surgery, reports say fluid started accumulating in her lungs and the young actress suffered a cardiac arrest. That's when doctors from Dr. Shetty's Cosmetic Center rushed her to a nearby hospital where she was reportedly brought dead. A case of medical negligence has been registered against the doctors of Dr. Shetty's Cosmetic Center. DCP North Division, Bengaluru. This is a case of medical negligence. Unnatural death report is awaited. Case has been registered against the doctor. Chetna Raj was in her pink of her health. In fact, she had no health complications whatsoever. Her grandmother also confirms that she had pledged the jewelry and also had borrowed money for this particular cosmetic surgery. In fact, in order to look good and also the pressure to look good in the film industry has cost one life. In Bengaluru, with camera person Kumar Shrija for NDTV.
A young, vibrant life lost there over this bizarre weight loss surgery. And another tragic story from Tamil Nadu, where a class 12 boy has killed his classmate because he claims that this classmate was body shaming and bullying him. The boy says he was harassed mercilessly. He had complained to the school, but no action had been taken. This comes just months after a young boy in a Gurugram school had also killed himself over body shaming and harassment, something that schools must look at when they look at the mental health of their young students.
A horrifying crime. This class 11 student allegedly murdered by his own classmate for body shaming him. Police say the victim allegedly called his friend girlish, and despite his objection and pleas to stop, he continued to tease him over his looks. The accused then called the victim for a party and allegedly stabbed him multiple times on a highway.
Body shaming leads to anxiety, to depression, and many a times to body dysmorphic disorder, where one starts to hate his or her own looks. And many a times this is reflected as anger or as extreme sadness or depression.
The police have arrested the minor boy for murder. He is being kept at an observation home while an investigation is underway. Tamil Nadu has been witnessing a spurt in student behavioral issues, including targeting of teachers. While experts blame it on lack of social interaction amid the pandemic, this student murder over body shaming has triggered a new worry. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find It TV.
A tragic story there, both young boys, one boy tragically killed, the other boy also a victim. Moving to the other big headline is what's happening in Assam, and a red alert has now been issued for Assam and Meghalaya for heavy rain tomorrow. This as the Assam floods have worsened. Lakhs are now homeless as the majority of Assam districts are now affected by severe flooding. Ratnadeep reports.
Over 2 lakh people affected in 20 districts in Assam floods. 7 have died, lakhs affected, massive destruction caused by these floods. Over 33,000 people take shelter in 72 relief camps.
That's a situation in Assam, but let's just look at India's monsoon tracker now. Remember, the monsoon has reached India yesterday, 6 days early in the Andamans. So, thunderstorms are likely in the Andamans over the next 5 days. Also, as we just reported, heavy rainfall predicted across the northeast. There's also a cyclonic build-up over Kerala and its neighbouring states. South India will witness pleasant showers in the next few days, and the southwest monsoon will also penetrate the Bay of Bengal. So that's our monsoon tracker. But also, let's just look at India's hottest cities today, mainly in the north. So Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh is at 46.9 degrees. Shri Ganganagar in Rajasthan just over 45. Wardha is at 45. So is Jhansi, and Khajuraho in Madhya Pradesh just below 45. So these temperatures are actually lower than the 49 degrees we had on the weekend, but a heat wave is predicted to return soon.